My sister copied everything I did. So I gave her a baby name she couldn't take back. My older sister is freaking obsessed with stealing my identity. I don't mean in the cute way like where she copies my style or haircut. No, she was obsessed with proving she could do everything I could, but better. When I chose to do pre-law, she switched her entire pre-med career to pre-law. And she was 3 years into program. Like what? When me and my husband moved in together and got a Maine Coon cat, guess what? She got one too. To this day, she still takes zero tech allergy pills every day. But compared to what she did next, none of this was even that easy. You see, my sister has always been a huge baby hater. She can't even be in the same room as someone under the age of 14 without acting like their existence offends her. If a woman ever mentioned their pregnancy around her, she'd scrunch up her face with disgust and literally say, "EW, that could never be me. I respect my body too much to let someone else take over." So, when I announced me and my husband's pregnancy, not even I could predict what she would do next. 2 weeks later, she called me and my entire extended family over for a huge announcement. I still remember how I felt, sitting at the table with Patty's hand in mine, when my sister said the 2 words that changed everything.
I'm pregnant.
I almost laughed at how ironic it was. She was trying to copy my identity to steal my thunder, to make sure the spotlight was on her instead of me again. And since my sister obviously wasn't going to change, I was going to let her copy something that would make sure she never copied me again. The next morning, I called my sister's best friend, Lauren. She picked up on the first ring. "Hey," I exclaimed. "I was just wondering if you wanted to go to Paris, Baguette, and grab a coffee together. We haven't spoken in so long." "Of course I would," she responded. "I'll see you there in an hour." As soon as she hung up, a huge smile was plastered on my face. Everything was going perfectly. I was ready to set the perfect trap for my older sister. When me and Lauren sat down together and got her coffee, I knew exactly what to say. "I'm so excited for my baby girl to be born. I picked the perfect name for her," I said with a perfectly innocent smile. Lauren smiled back, "Me too. What are you going to call it?" I dropped my voice below a whisper. "Okay, I'll tell you, but only if you promise not to tell my sister." You see, I loved Lauren, but above all else, she is a blabbermouth. She literally cannot keep a single secret to herself. So I knew if I told her my daughter's name, she'd tell my sister, and my sister would steal it. So I did just that. I whispered the name to her. I watched her face change from excitement to confusion. "That's unusual," she said carefully. "Oh, I know it sounds strange," I said quickly, "but it's a family name from my grandmother's side. It has such a beautiful meaning." I knew Mia would take the bait and steal the crazy, odd name I gave her. But this time I'd be the one laughing. I just had to wait. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. 2 months went by, and that's when I woke up to a letter in the mail. It was an invitation to my sister's baby shower. And, at the bottom in thick, old italic lettering were the words "Baby Name Reveal Party." My heart raced with excitement. I knew exactly what the name was. And I knew exactly how my family would react.
Mwah.
On the morning of my sister's baby shower, I took extra time with my appearance. My husband Patty watched me curling my hair, confused. "You seem really excited about this,"
he said.
I responded. "Today my sister finally gets what she deserves." He looked worried but didn't ask more questions. When we got there, the venue was decorated exactly how I'd expect for Mia. Over the top and desperate for attention. Pink balloons everywhere, a 3-tier cake. Pictures of her everywhere. The air inside the venue smelled of expensive lilies and desperation. Mia sat on a velvet-tufted throne. Literally, she had rented a throne, surrounded by a court of friends who looked like they were terrified of being banished. "You look radiant," Patty said, squeezing my hand. He was trying to be nice, but I knew he was unsettled by the mural Mia had commissioned for the entryway, a painting of her as the Virgin Mary, but wearing Chanel. "Just wait," I whispered, smoothing my dress. "The show is about to start." We made our rounds. I accepted the hors d'oeuvres, smiled at the aunts who asked when my baby was due, 3 months after Mia's, naturally, and dodged Lauren, who was looking at me with wide, conspiratorial eyes from across the room. Lauren gave me a subtle thumbs up. My stomach did a somersault, not from nausea, but from the sheer, adrenaline-fueled anticipation of the guillotine blade dropping. Then the music stopped. A hush fell over the room as Mia stood up. She smoothed her custom silk gown over her bump. She didn't look like a mother. She looked like a CEO launching a product line. "Thank you all for coming," Mia announced, her voice projected by a microphone despite the room being small enough to speak normally. "As many of you know, this journey has been spiritual for me. I wanted a name that reflected not just beauty, but history. Something sophisticated. Something my sister." She paused, locking eyes with me, a smirk playing on her lips. Something no one else would have the vision to choose. I widened my eyes, feigning panic. I grabbed Patty's arm, digging my nails in slightly. "Oh no," I whispered loud enough for the table next to us to hear. She didn't. "I know some people think traditional names are best," Mia continued, basking in the attention. "But I wanted something European. Something with deep, medical roots, honoring my time in pre-law and my almost time in pre-med." She gestured to the heavy velvet curtains behind her. "Everyone meet." The curtains dropped. A massive, laser-cut wooden sign suspended in a wreath of white roses spelled it out in elegant, looping cursive. "Melina." The silence was immediate. It wasn't the silence of awe. It was the confused, heavy silence of people trying to process a puzzle. "Melina." Mia sighed into the microphone, looking at the sign with adoration. "It sounds so lyrical, doesn't it? Like a melody. A dark, beautiful melody." I bit the inside of my cheek so hard I tasted copper. "Melina." The medical term for dark, sticky feces containing partly digested blood. Usually a sign of upper gastrointestinal bleeding. It was the name I had fed Lauren. I told her it was an obscure Greek name meaning dark moon goddess. I knew Mia, who had dropped out of pre-med 3 years in because biology is gross, wouldn't have retained enough knowledge to spot it. And I knew she was too arrogant to Google a name she thought was a secret family heirloom. "It's beautiful, Mia," Lauren shouted from the front row, doing her part as the loyal sycophant. "It really is," Mia beamed. "I've already ordered the monogrammed diaper bags. And the custom crib sheets."
MLNA.
From the corner of the room, I saw our cousin David. David is a third-year resident at Mount Sinai Hospital. He had a glass of champagne halfway to his mouth. He lowered it. His eyes darted from the sign to Mia, then to me. I met David's gaze. I gave him the slightest, almost imperceptible shake of my head. "Don't you dare." David looked at Mia, who was now posing for photos in front of the sign. He looked back at me, a mixture of horror and impressed fear on his face. He set his glass down and walked out to the balcony. He wasn't going to be the one to tell her. "What does it mean?" Aunt Carol called out. "It means dark moon," Mia lied effortlessly, regurgitating the nonsense I'd fed Lauren. "It represents the mystery of creation." "Oh, honey," my mother said, tearing up. "That's so unique." I walked up to her. This was the critical moment. If I didn't play this perfectly, she might suspect. "Mia," I said, my voice trembling. You chose the name I told Lauren about?" Mia's face hardened. She turned off the microphone and leaned in, her perfume overpowering. "You didn't have a claim on it, sis. You haven't even registered your birth plan yet. Besides," she tossed her hair, "it sounds better with my last name. It would have sounded clunky with yours." "But it was Grandma's favorite," I lied, looking down at my shoes. "Well, Grandma is dead," Mia whispered violently. "And I'm the one giving her a great-granddaughter first. Get over it." She pulled back, flashing a bright, fake smile to the photographer.
Sis.
"You're going to be an aunt to little Melina." The flash blinded me, capturing my look of defeat perfectly. But behind my eyes, fireworks were going off. The weeks following the shower were a blur of Mia branding her life with a name. It wasn't just the nursery. It was the social media handles. At Mama Mia and Melina. Hashtag Melina coming soon. She started a Mommy and Me blog before the kid was even born. I waited. I knew the internet would do the work for me, but Mia's following was mostly bots and friends who were too polite to say anything. Or, perhaps, they were just as uneducated as she was. The explosion happened 2 weeks before her due date. Mia had posted a TikTok. It was a pack my hospital bag with me video. She was holding up a custom embroidered onesie. "I just can't wait to bring little Melina home in this," she cooed to the camera. The video hit the cringe side of TikTok. Then it hit medical TikTok. I was sitting on my couch, eating pickles and peanut butter. A cliché, I know, but don't knock it, when Lauren called me. "Have you seen the comments?" Lauren sounded frantic. "On what?" I asked, feigning ignorance. "Mia's video. The viral one. Oh my god, OP. Oh my god." I hung up and opened the app. The video had 3.4 million views. The top comment, with 45,000 likes, was from a user named at @er_nurse_Jen. "Is this satire? Please tell me this is satire. You are naming your child after bloody stool?" The second comment, "Honey, Google is free."
Melena ärligt blid.
The third, "I'm naming my son diarrhea. It means flowing river in my made-up language." I scrolled. Thousands of comments. Doctors, nurses, med students, and teenagers roasting her into oblivion. Reaction videos were already popping up. A gastroenterologist had duet the video, simply staring at the camera while slow blinking as Mia explained the dark moon meaning. I didn't have to wait long.
My phone rang. It was Mia.
"Did you know?" Her voice wasn't the high-pitched, arrogant tone I was used to. It was a low growl. "Know what?"
I asked.
What it means. The name. Did you know what it meant when you told Lauren? Mia, I told Lauren it was a family name. I thought it was pretty. I didn't Google it because Grandma used to talk about it. I paused, letting the silence stretch.
Why?
What does it mean? It means SHT, Opie. It means bloody SHT. She was screaming now. I have customized blankets. I have a neon sign. I have a sponsored post with a stroller company that is threatening to sue me for brand tarnishment. Oh my God, I gasped.
Mia, I'm so sorry.
I had no idea. I'm so glad you took the name instead of me. The line went dead. You might think this is where she learned her lesson, where she humbled herself, apologized for trying to steal my life, and picked a normal name like Sarah or Jessica. But you have to understand narcissists. They don't accept defeat. They rewrite reality. Mia went silent on social media for 3 days. When she returned, she didn't apologize. She didn't announce a name change. She posted a text-only story on Instagram. True artists are often misunderstood. The masses fear what is unique. We are keeping the name. We are reclaiming the word. Hashtag Melina, hashtag #RebelMom. She was doubling down. She was going to name her daughter Melina out of pure spite, just to prove the haters and the entire medical community wrong. I almost felt bad for the kid. Almost. But then I remembered the way Mia had treated me my entire life. The way she had tried to seduce Patty when we first started dating. The way she had accidentally spilled red wine on my wedding dress. The baby would be fine. She could go by Mel.
But Mia?
Mia was about to walk into a lifetime of explaining why her daughter was named after a medical emergency. The birth happened on a rainy Tuesday. I was at the hospital, not because I wanted to be, but because our mother insisted the family be united. Mia looked perfect in the hospital bed, obviously. She had hired a makeup artist to come in during contractions. When the baby finally arrived, the room was tense. The nurse, a sturdy woman named Brenda, took the baby to the warming station. Time for the birth certificate, Brenda said efficiently. Do we have a name? Mia glared at me, then looked at the nurse. Melina. Brenda paused. Her pen hovered over the clipboard. She looked at Mia over her glasses. Mom, are you aware of the medical terminology associated with that word? It means dark moon, Mia hissed. Write it down. Brenda looked at the doctor. The doctor shrugged. Brenda wrote it down. Melina rose. She's beautiful, I said, looking at my niece.
She really was.
She looked nothing like Mia. She looked like our grandfather. She's better than beautiful, Mia corrected, snapping a selfie with the baby. She's viral. The unraveling didn't happen all at once. It was a slow burn. It started at the pediatrician's office. Every time Mia's name was called, heads turned. Nurses whispered. Mia took it as jealousy. Then came the mommy and me yoga classes. Mia was asked to leave a posh studio because 2 other mothers, one a surgeon's wife, couldn't stop laughing during the introduction circle. Mia claimed it was discrimination. But the real breaking point came 6 months later. I had my daughter, whom I named Clara. Simple. Classic. Untouchable. Mia came over to visit, bringing Melina, who she was now strictly calling Lena in public, though she refused to admit why. We were sitting in the living room. My Maine Coon cat jumped onto the sofa. Mia's Maine Coon cat, which she had brought with her in a carrier because she couldn't leave it alone, hissed from the corner. I'm thinking of suing the hospital, Mia said suddenly.
Why?
They didn't warn me enough. It's malpractice. They let me name her that. Mia, I said, putting down my tea. The nurse literally asked you if you knew what it meant. She didn't use the right tone. She should have stopped me. Mia stood up pacing. She looked tired. The veneer was cracking. Do you know I can't even monetize her Instagram anymore? The algorithm flags her name as sensitive content. Do you know how hard it is to get a sponsorship when your child's name is flagged as bio-waste? There it was. Not my daughter will be bullied. Not I made a mistake. But I can't make money off her. Maybe you should legally change it, I suggested. She's only 6 months old. It's not too late. Mia stopped pacing. She looked at me with a hatred so pure, it was almost impressive. And give you the satisfaction? Never. The ending of this story isn't a singular explosion. It's a long, satisfying fade out. Mia's stubbornness became her prison. She refused to change the name, and as a result, she isolated herself from the very elite mom circles she was desperate to join. She became known as the poop name lady in our town. She stopped copying me. Not because she wanted to, but because she couldn't risk me setting another trap. If I bought a specific stroller, she bought the opposite brand. If I signed Clara up for gymnastics, Mia put Lena in swimming. In her desperate attempt to avoid being tricked again, she finally did the one thing she had never done before. She started making her own decisions. She accidentally forced herself into becoming an individual. Last Christmas, the family gathered at my parents' house. Lena and Clara were playing on the rug. Lena is a sweet kid, despite her mother. Mia was in the kitchen drinking too much wine. I walked in to get a refill. Cute haircut, Mia said, eyeing my new bob. Thanks, I said. I was thinking of dyeing it red.
Mia snorted.
Red? That's tacky. I'm going blonde. I smiled. Good for you, Mia. I walked back into the living room, watching our daughters play. Come here, Melina, my dad called out. Mia flinched from the kitchen. She always flinched. I sat down next to Patty and rested my head on his shoulder. You know, I whispered to him. I actually hate red hair. I was never going to dye it. 2 days later, Mia posted a selfie with platinum blonde hair. It looked terrible with her skin tone. I liked the post. Looking great, sis, I commented. And for the first time in my life, I truly didn't care what she did next. I had already won. The trophy was running around on the carpet, bearing a name that would forever remind Mia that she wasn't as smart as she thought she was. She wanted to steal my identity. She ended up with a life that was entirely, uniquely, and painfully her own. And that, I think, is the best revenge of all.